Service? It's your garden storing a back again. And today, we're talking about a mistake almost everyone makes, with the best of intentions. As soon as autumn hits, the leaves fall, and then it starts. Shears out, everything tidy, everything polished, and in the end, you're left with a garden that looks neat, but is stone cold dead in winter. To us, it might look well kept. For animals, it's pure horror. While we're sitting inside all cozy, outside, the birds, squirrels, and hedgehogs are in absolute survival mode. Winter isn't a romantic stroll for them, it's pure survival. And we're going to look at how you can help them now without your garden looking like a wild, abandoned field. Chapter 1. Supporting birds the right way. Let's start with the birds because they're the most visible in winter and at the same time the most misunderstood. Feeding birds is something many people do, really many. But very few do it in a way that actually helps the animals. Often it's well-intentioned but poorly executed. It's a bit like inviting guests over and then serving them yesterday's cold leftovers and saying, "It'll be fine." A bird is not just a bird. Many people forget that. There are species that can crack hard seeds without a problem. Strong beaks, real machines. And then there are others who simply can't do anything with those seeds. They stand there, peck once, and give up. If you only offer one type of food, you're automatically leaving a bunch of birds out in the cold. And they're the ones hit hardest by winter. And please, let me be very clear. Stop it with the bread. Bread fills the stomach, but it doesn't make them healthy. It swells up in the gut, provides no nutrients, and in the worst case, can make them seriously ill. What we think is harmless is a real risk for birds. What they really need is variety, good feed, and a quiet spot where they aren't constantly spooked. Then they won't just come once, but regularly. And that regularity is exactly what decides whether they make it through the winter or not. Chapter 2. Water, the most forgotten point. What almost everyone completely overlooks is water, even in winter, especially in winter. Many think, it's cold, there's snow, that's enough. It's not. When everything is frozen, birds can hardly find anything to drink. Eating snow costs an enormous amount of energy. And energy is the hardest currency of all in winter. Anyone burning energy unnecessarily has a worse chance of survival. A simple, flat water ball can be more important in winter than any birdhouse. It doesn't have to be pretty. It has to work. And it has to be checked regularly. A small trick makes a huge difference here. If the water is moving, it freezes much slower. That little detail often decides whether the bowl remains usable or not. It doesn't need technology or big investments. Often it's the simple solutions that bring the most. Chapter 3. Squirrels in winter. Squirrels don't hibernate. They're out and about, even in the cold, even in the snow. They're looking for the supplies they buried in autumn. The only problem is the ground is frozen, or they simply can't find their hiding spots anymore. And yes, that happens more often than you'd think. When several days of frost hit, things get critical for them. You can help quite easily here. A small feeding spot with suitable nuts is plenty. You don't need to open a zoo, it's just about creating a reliable source. Only one thing is important. The nuts must be natural. Salted snacks are dangerous for squirrels and can cause severe damage. What's a snack for us is a risk for them. And honestly, if you have squirrels in your garden, you get free entertainment to go with it. You quickly learn how much character is packed into these little animals, and you suddenly realize that helping doesn't take much effort, but it does a lot of good. Chapter 4. Not pruning is nature conservation. Now we come to my favorite topic, winter pruning. In many gardens, there's a radical cleanup in autumn. Everything that's dry, everything that's no longer blooming, gets cut off. It looks tidy, it feels right. And for nature, it's the exact opposite. Dried up perennials are not a mess. They are a food source, shelter, and a nursery all in one. Seed heads are eaten by birds in winter. Hollow stems are overwintering spots for insects that we desperately need next year. If you clear everything away in winter, you're removing exactly what sustains life. You're taking away the animal's last reserve. And then people wonder in the spring why nothing is buzzing anymore, why it stays silent. My rule is therefore very clear. No pruning in winter. Period. There's still plenty of time in spring. And by then, you'll also know what really needs to go and what can stay. Chapter 5. Leaves are not waste. Fallen leaves are extremely valuable in winter. What many see as dirt is vital for survival for others. A pile of leaves and branches in a quiet corner of the garden is often the only chance for hedgehogs to survive the winter. If everything is vacuumed up or cleared away, this protection is missing. The hedgehog can no longer find a place to retreat. At the same time, something else happens. The soil dries out faster, soil life suffers, worms and microorganisms disappear. Leaves hold moisture, protect the soil, and ensure the ground stays alive. There's actually no good reason to remove it completely. A little bit of order is plenty. The rest should stay, and it really should. Chapter 6. Balconies are lifesavers. And now for everyone saying, I don't even have a garden. Even a balcony can be crucial in winter, especially in the city. Between concrete, glass, and asphalt, animals find almost no food or water. Every small spot where something is offered can make the difference. A small feeding station or a water bowl literally saves lives here. You don't need a big garden or a perfect environment. You just need awareness, a little bit of looking, and the willingness to take responsibility, even on a few square meters. Chapter 7. The mistake of good intentions. There's one thing I notice over and over again in winter. Many people want to help. Really help. And that's exactly what makes it so tragic. Because those very good intentions often cause the most damage. They tidy up because they think order is good. They prune because they believe they have to. They feed without asking if the food even fits. Winter forgives no mistakes. What might still be balanced out in summer can decide between life or death in winter. One wrong move, one missing spot, one non-existent water source, and the animal doesn't get a second chance. That's why, in winter, less is almost always more. Don't do everything possible. Only do what actually helps. Chapter 8. Why your behavior counts right now. Winter isn't just a single cold night. It's a long phase where animals have to calculate every day. Is there enough energy? Enough food? Is there still a safe place tomorrow? And that's exactly where you come in. Not once, not spectacularly, but regularly. Reliability is more important in winter than any big gesture. A garden or balcony you can rely on becomes an island of rescue. The decisive factor is, your behavior now doesn't just last until spring. It determines how alive your garden will be later, which birds come back, which insects hatch, whether it buzzes again or stays silent. Winter is the moment you set the course, not for order but for life. Supporting animals in winter doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It means letting go of a bit of order and giving nature some space. Prune less, provide water, leave the leaves. Often it doesn't take more than that. And when you see everything coming back to life in spring, you'll know why it was important. Feel free to write in the comments who is overwintering in your garden or on your balcony. If this helped you, leave a subscription. And if you notice that this topic won't let you go, I have something else for you. I've made another video on my YouTube exactly about this. The silent death. Why almost everyone makes this winter mistake in the garden. We go even deeper there, showing concretely where things go wrong and how you can do it better without having more work. Check that out if you want your garden not just to look good, but to be alive. Thanks for being here. Service, your garden Stordinger.